Hey again! It's another one of those weird crappy phone outdoor videos. This is all an experiment. But this time I'm actually going to talk to you about something dropshipping related. Because I've been learning a lot about this kind of bulk thing, right? This mentality where you post as many items as you can just to kind of learn what sells, right? And you don't spend too much time on individual items. So I'm going to kind of summarize some things that I've learned from doing this. Because for those of you who don't know, the whole reason that I'm doing this series and that I do this bulk style is to learn. My goal at the moment isn't to make profit. My goal is to learn what is necessary to run a profitable bulk style business. The goal is to earn like $40,000 a year off of 2 to 3 hours of work a day. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to have enough money to be able to live my life and, you know, go out and have dinner with my friends and that kind of thing. The important thing is to then have the free time so that I can work on other business pursuits and video game development, because that's ultimately what my dream is. My dream is to make video games that help people, that teach people, so that when I'm dead, like, people can still learn from efforts that I did, and people can still have access to the things that I learned in my life through videos and video games, right? But that's a long, long, long way in the future. For now, I'm doing this bulk thing. And so what I did is I was an existing eBay seller, right? And I got into dropshipping probably around November of last year, right? Not November of last year, but I didn't start doing bulk until November. And what I did is I was just like, hey, you know, I know I'm probably not going to make much money, and I might actually lose money, but I do know that I'm going to learn a whole lot if I just post as many items as I possibly can. So that's what I did. And I ended up posting about 90,000 eBay listings, okay? So my store, I had the biggest eBay store you can have, which is an anchor store, and I was paying thousands of dollars in insertion fees for these 90,000 listings. This was months ago. This was earlier on in this year. So at this point, I've learned tons from posting all of those listings. I almost post 100,000 listings, not quite. But I learned so much about different, what kind of sales are profitable, what kind of items are more likely to have issues. I learned about what items to avoid and all of that in the future. So the idea is now, I wait until I have enough money saved up so that I can reiterate the store, right? And this time I apply all of the lessons that I learned from posting all of those items in the past, okay? And so the way that, there's two things, sorry, there's a truck passing by. There's two things, two main kind of directions I'm thinking about heading in with bulk, okay? And one is bigger sales. And this is because I now have I have an established eBay account I can post 2.7 million items, right? It's almost like I don't have limits on my eBay account anymore. So what I need to do is learn ways that I can make it profitable, and learn ways that I can use this big eBay account to earn money, right? Because I got to figure out, okay, what scenarios are there less competition? Because people are typically limited by the size of their eBay account. They can only post 100 items, or 1,000 items, or 10, or 20,000 items. So they have to be more picky than I do, right? And so the two things that I'm looking at right now is, one is more expensive items, because when you have higher account limits, you can post $500, $600, $700 items. You don't really have to worry about it that much, right? Because it doesn't fill up your account. And when you get sales on those, they're more profitable, right? Just because they're bigger in nature. But the thing is, PayPal really, they don't seem to give a flying crap about like $40, $50 transactions. I rarely have any kind of issues with those, and that's most of my transactions. But even though I've been selling like $300, $400 items for almost 2 or 3 months now, they still put my payments on hold pretty much anytime I get a big payment, right? And theoretically, eventually, I'll have an established history of these big payments, so then PayPal isn't going to put them on hold anymore. But that's just a theory. It's very possible that they are always going to put these expensive transactions on hold, right? And that's kind of an issue, because in my head I was like, well look, that's how I'm gonna make money in the future, right? I'm gonna have all these big sales and be able to post the items because most other people can't. But to be honest, those big sales have not been the most profitable sales that I've had. The most profitable sales that I've had are very cheap items. We're talking about like $10 to $20 cost plus $6 of shipping, right? They're very cheap items that people buy multiple quantity of, right? Because the other benefit of having a big account is that you can change your default quantity. So typically a dropshipper's default quantity is 1. They just say that each of their items, they only have 1 of them, even though technically you have none, right? Because you just place the orders as, you know, as they show up. But when you have a bigger account, well, when you have a bigger account, you can change the default quantity to something much higher, right? So right now mine is at 10. And what's happening is that I'm noticing that, yeah, there's a lot of items have competition, right? But most of the competition only has like 1 or 2 quantity, right? So if you're able to have more, then you get sales for like 6 or 7 items at a time, right? And you know, you would think, okay, that just means that it's, say that I sell you know, a $10 item 6 times, right? That shouldn't be any more profitable than selling like $60 items, right? Or like a $300 item. But because of the way pricing and free shipping works, it is way more profitable to have a 6 quantity sale with my current pricing markup than it is to have like a $600 sale. If there was a $600 sale, right, I would earn less than $100 of profit on that sale, okay? But earlier, the other day, I had a 10 quantity sale that earned me $140 of profit. It was only like a $320 sale, something like that. By far, by leaps and bounds, the most profitable sales I've had have been these very cheap items that sold like 10 at a time, right? Because every time that the item sells, for every quantity, because usually the buyer buys enough of the item that I can get free shipping from Walmart, even though each individual item was priced to pay $6 for shipping. So when I buy the item, the buyer bought enough of them that I get free shipping. So that's $6 of profit per quantity on top of the original profit of the item, right? And that's crazy. And one of the reasons that this is so cool is because of the availability of items in the first place, right? So the thing that kind of sucks about the expensive item and the theory of, you know, I have this big account now so I can sell like $1,000 items and all that kind of stuff, is that Walmart, my exclusive source, Walmart doesn't actually have that many expensive items. If you look at the databases of the items that they sell, like 80 to 90% of their items cost under like 40, 50 bucks. On almost every search result that I've looked at, if you filter it by cost, only showing items that cost like above 50, 60 bucks, almost all of the search result disappears. Most of Walmart's items are quite cheap, okay? And so this makes it kind of hard if I'm trying to make money on those bigger sales, but if I really pursue this multi-quantity cheap item with high markup thing, I think that might be the future of bulk. I think that might be what I do for my bulk. Because right now, this is an episode of the bulk theory series, right? What I'm gonna do is make a new iteration of my store, and that's gonna be called bulk style, okay? And that is gonna be when I am actively trying to be profitable and earn a good amount of money doing this. I'm not right now. Everything that I've done so far has been to learn. And that's why I don't mean to offend anyone when I get frustrated when people are like, oh, how much do you earn per month? How much profit are you making? It's like, to me, asking me that is like if somebody's going to college for 4 years, right? And they're like, hey, I'm gonna go study mechanical engineering for 4 years, okay? And then you see them and they're 2 years into their degree and you're like, hey, how much is your salary? How much are you earning? It's like, you realize that's not what my goal is right now. You're asking me about something that I'm not even focusing on at the moment. It's all about learning. And I've been so redundant about that this isn't about money right now. It's about learning as much as I can, as fast as I possibly can, right? So that's really exciting. I'm gonna end the video now. Sorry, I just figured I'd kind of go on a little rant there. I need to get more used to this kind of format. So I'm trying to get more practice with it. Bear with me, because it's gonna be a learning process. All right, guys, bye.